Hey there, this video is going to be a tutorial to walk you through how to turn your reference photo into something that's a little bit easier to dissect and figure out what values you need to add to your pencil drawing. We're going to be using the web-based program PhotoPea. You'll have the link for that in our Google Classroom in the slideshow. I'll probably put it under the description here as well. This is going to work best if you already have your photograph on your device that you are also using PhotoPea with. So go ahead and go to photopea.com, and then what you're going to do is the following. So you're going to go ahead and go to File, and you'll do Open, and go grab that photograph that you took. So I'm going to go grab mine, open it up, and there we are. So everything that we are going to do to edit this photo is actually going to happen for the most part under the Image tab up here at the top. So what you're going to do, the first step here is we are going to turn this into a black and white photo so that we don't have to worry about trying to figure out what value each color is in the photo. The gray scale will fit a little bit better with our pencil. So I'm going to go to Adjustments here, and you'll see that there is an option for black and white. And so that is the option you're going to choose. You'll select that. It's going to give you some options. You can actually individually edit every color in your original photo. We're not going to be too precious about that, so we're going to stick with the standard settings. If you find that you have an image that is really not well lit, you could certainly play around with it here just to see if it makes a difference, but we're going to also do a little bit of that elsewhere. So no need to try and fix it automatically here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It's going to apply it. So now my image is black and white. And I've got some pretty good contrast here. I have a pretty direct light source, and I have some nice shadow areas. And that's really going to be key for this process because you want to be able to show that range of value, show that you can really do that shading and blending. So if yours does not have that contrast, what you're going to do is you're going to go on back up to Image and go to Adjustments again. So like I said, it's the same place. And there are a couple different ways that you can do this. I find that the easiest way is to go to Brightness and Contrast. You can also do Levels. So brightness and contrast do exactly what they sound like. Some contrast will increase the difference in your values. So you can see that as I adjust it here, it's making my darker areas darker. For brightness, it's going to make my brighter areas brighter. And you don't want to wash it out too much because that's going to make it really hard to put in a full range of value. So find yourself a little happy point where you're getting some good dark values as well as midtones and your light values. And then when you're happy with that, go ahead and hit OK. And there you go. And then we're going to do a couple other things here. So we could just work from this reference photo, but since most of you guys are just starting out with shading, I want to kind of make this even simpler for you. So we're going to apply a filter that's called the Posterior Filter. And so that is, again, located in the same place. So you're going to go to Image, you go to Adjustments, and then go to Posterize. And this is about 2/3 of the way down. And it's not going to look super pretty, and that's okay because we're going to use this in conjunction with a standard photograph. But what it does do is it helps us kind of figure out our different values in a way that's a little bit simpler. Now, when we go and draw our photograph or draw from our reference photo, we're going to simplify all these kind of jagged edges. That's not something that there's a lot of control for here. I don't really like the fact that I don't have too many values here. There's only 3. It doesn't really give me a lot of depth. And remember, we want to create depth in our drawing. So there is a dialog box here. You'll see that it says that there are 3 levels currently. So each of those levels corresponds to a level in the value scale. So we're going to go ahead and increase that. I'm going to say, let's see here. I like 6 or 7 is good. Okay. So I wouldn't go higher than 9 for our project because I think that'll make it a little bit too complex. But for me, it looks like, to me like 7's going to work pretty well. Now, when we go and actually shade this in, we are going to still blend the gradient, the transition out. It's not going to be real choppy like this, but this will help us kind of figure out in general where we're going to put down those darker layers versus the lighter, more highlighted layers. So once you've gotten it to how you like it, you're going to go ahead and hit OK. And then the last piece is to just go ahead and export. So you're going to go to File up at the top here, go down to Export As, and you can export it either as a PNG or as a JPEG. So the .jpg file. So the .jpg, the JPEG file, will be a smaller file size. So especially if you're working from your Chromebook, that might be a better option. The PNG file is a little bit more of a universal file, and it's great for kind of web-based stuff. So either one's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do mine as a PNG. It's going to ask me, if I want to save it with this width and height and the quality I want it. It looks how I want it to look. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And I'll find the spot I want to put it in and then save it. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and take the photo that we just edited and grid it. So once you've finished here, if you don't want these edits to be kind of permanent, you could go ahead and just close it out without saving, or you could do a file save as, so it is not saving over your original file type. So we'll be back in a bit to show you the next step with gridding.